everybody, I'm Jennifer. Today in my kitchen we are making molten Nutella chocolate cakes. These rich desserts come together so quickly. They're going to be in the oven in 10 minutes. My last video was sort of a date night dinner recipe, something a little bit more fancy, and so this is my date night dessert recipe. This is something that's really not complicated to make. It only has a few simple ingredients. I think you guys are going to love these. They are rich. They are filled with just gooey chocolate. It's just pure deliciousness. I think you guys are going to love these, so let's get started. The ingredients you'll need for these molten Nutella chocolate cakes are some good semi-sweet chocolate. I've got 2 ounces of this, and I just chopped it very finely. 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 eggs, and we're actually going to use 1 whole egg and 1 egg yolk, a pinch of salt to cut the sweetness, 1 teaspoon of flour, a couple spoonfuls of Nutella, and this ingredient is optional. I'm using about a tablespoon of strong coffee, and this is going to enhance our chocolate flavor. The first thing we're going to do is add our butter to a microwave-safe bowl. Now we're going to melt this butter. Now that our butter is melted, we're going to add our chocolate, and we're going to whisk this together until our butter and chocolate are completely melted together. Now that our butter and chocolate is melted together, we're going to set this aside for a minute. The next ingredient we're going to work with is our eggs. So I've got a whole egg and an egg yolk in a medium-sized bowl. I'm going to add my sugar. We're going to beat this until it's light and fluffy, and that's going to take about 1 minute. Okay, our eggs are light and frothy now. Now we're going to add the eggs to our chocolate mixture. We're also going to add in our coffee, a pinch of salt, and our flour. Now we're just going to beat this together. We just want to make sure there's no lumps of flour. Now our batter is complete and it's ready to go in the oven. I've got a couple ramekins here and I buttered them and floured them very well. I just want to make completely sure that these do not stick to the ramekins. I'm just going to divide my batter into each ramekin. See how velvety that is? Now we're going to go crazy and we're going to add a dollop of Nutella to our chocolate lava cake. And just remember that the Nutella is completely optional. If you don't like Nutella or you don't think it needs it, feel free to omit it. So I'm going to keep 1 molten cake with Nutella and I'm going to leave the other one plain. I've got my oven preheated to 450 degrees and we're going to bake these for 7 to 9 minutes. We want there to be a crust on top, but we want to make sure that we leave it nice and molten in the center. So I'm going to bake these and I'll show you what they look like when they're finished. My molten Nutella chocolate cakes baked for about 8 or 9 minutes. You want to make sure that you use your judgment on this. It's going to be different for every oven. So you want to make sure that the middle is still nice and gooey. I'm going to let these sit for a minute. Then I'm going to take some oven mitts, put a plate on top of the cakes, and then flip them over. And I'll show you what they look like when they are all ready to eat. Now our molten Nutella chocolate cake is ready to go. I just topped it with some powdered sugar and we are ready to dig in. And now we are ready to eat. Oh my gosh, you guys, why do I get so excited about food? I can't help it. I already cut into it to show you guys what it looked like, but now I'm going to take a nice big bite. Oh my gosh, that center is perfect. It's like a nice, rich, underbaked brownie. And that Nutella is perfect. It's not overly sweet. Just make sure that you don't add too much. I'd maybe add half a tablespoon to each cake. You don't want it to be too sweet. You will need a nice cold glass of milk to go with this. All the exact ingredient quantities, recipe instructions, all of that will be on my website, injenskitchen.wordpress.com. Thank you guys for spending time with me and I'll see you next time.